Hi girls, Mr. Gilmore here. So we're going to actually do a combination of recorded video and me writing on the screen. Now the reason why I'm doing recorded here is because today what we're going to be working on is what we call nets, which is effectively us kind of unfolding a shape, a three-dimensional shape into a 2D format. So if you look at this little thing here, it looks like a little cross. But if we fold out all the little squares, you'll notice something. Oh my god, it makes a little cube, doesn't it? So we can see, wait a second, the surface area of this cube is going to be the same as the area of the net. So we can say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. The surface area of this cube is going to be the sum of the surface area of the areas of each face of the cube. The area of this two-dimensional net is going to be the sum of the areas of these squares. Same squares, so same areas. And that's what we really value nets for. It's a way for me to write down a shape, a three-dimensional shape, on a two-dimensional plane. So I can write down on paper the net of a shape, and a mathematician can look at it and go, okay, that's the shape that they're talking about. Let's have a look at this one as well here. You'll see it's very similar, but this time it's got rectangles in it. Well, just think for a second, what kind of shape do you think this will end up making? Okay, let's fold it up. Fold it up here. And lo and behold, I had to test a pen on my hand there a few seconds ago. Lo and behold, it makes a little cuboid. So again, you'll notice you've got height here, you've got length here, you've got width here, and still you can realize, wait a second, sum of all these rectangles, the area of these rectangles will make the same area as this net, as well as this shape. So if I'm given values across here, and across here, I can find out what the surface area of the shape is, as well as its volume. And we'll work through that once we go back to the like on-screen work. And the surface area of two nets, okay? So, again, we see that we have one that's all squares and one that has rectangles. So by now you probably have figured out, wait a second, if it's all squares, then it should make a cube. But if there's rectangles, it'll make some kind of cuboid, okay? So, let's have a quick look at this first shape here. We've got 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to find two things about this. We're going to find its volume and its surface area. Let's start with the surface area, because I think the surface area might be a little bit easier, isn't it? Just because we can go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can go, okay, all these squares are the same. So one square is 2 by 2, right? We can see that there's a height of 2 and a width of 2. And we can see, the 6 sections. So 2 by 2 by 6 should be our surface area. So we will get 4 by 6, which will end up being 24, remember, centimeters squared. I'm actually going to just make this a little bit of a thinner type of pen for the rest of this video. Now, slightly tougher than that. Slightly tougher than that. Let's look at the volume of this shape, okay? So the volume here, that's going to be, well, that, as we know, is going to be the width by the height by the length. So width by height by length. You can see here, wait a second, that's going to become the length, that's going to become the height, that's going to become the width. Or, as always, you can kind of interchange these. so long as you do recognize what's going to be kind of separate measurements when we fold it up into a cube. Okay, now one of the things I'm going to say here is I hate doing this over video. My preferred way of teaching this was always to have students come in and have a warm-up of you folding up those nets to really give you an idea of what this ends up being. But, you know, we live in strange times. So width by height by length, so 2 by 2 by 2 equals 8 centimeters squared. So you can see with squared, with cubes, it's really a very simple piece of maths. Gets a bit tougher when we start dealing with cuboids like the one we have over here, though. Definitely gets a bit tougher. And that's why I gave myself plenty of space to work on. So, first, as I said, we're going to look at surface area. And that's still going to be 2 by height by length plus 2 by width by length plus 2 height by width. And I explained this in our last video. If you need it explained to you again, please watch that video again. Or if you're really struggling with this, as always, please feel free to contact me. I'm starting to get a few people, you know, sending in work and saying, oh, I didn't get it. Not enough for you to say you didn't get it. You have to explain to me why you didn't get it, okay? You have to explain to me what your challenge was. And I really feel you should be contacting me about this if you are having any issues. I'm happy to help you if you're having issues, but I do expect you still to contact me. So I've taken the width here to be 5 centimeters, the height here to be 2 centimeters, and the length to be 3 centimeters. You can look at this in many different ways, in the same way that if you rotated a cuboid, obviously the height and the width might swap. It's not a big deal so long as you keep the height, length, and width the same. So I'm going to just at the very top go height is 2 centimeters, width is 3 centimeters. Sorry, already I've changed that. My mistake. Length is 3 centimeters, width is 5 centimeters, okay? So long as you're just keeping it the same. And sometimes it is worthwhile, you girls, just sitting down, writing out what the height, the length, the width is. I really don't want to see people marking their answers as incorrect if you have swapped around height and length by accident, or length and width. If I'm seeing red nose in your work, I do expect you to have at least reviewed over, okay, did I keep height, width, and length correct? So 2 by height is 2, and width is 5. Okay, so we've got all our values in here. So 2 by 2 is 4, by 3 is 12. As always, you girls are free to use a calculator on this. 2 by 5 is 10, 10 by 3 is 30, and 2 by 2 is 4, 4 by 5 is 20. And now we're just going to add these up together. You'll end up getting 4262 centimeters squared. And there's your surface area there. That's going to be both the area of this net and the surface area of the cuboid it describes. Now, let's look at volume here. In a funny way, volume is easier to do than surface area. It's a little less conceptually obvious with nets, but nets are really good for just conceptualizing what we are doing when we deal with surface area. So the volume here is going to be height by width by length. As you always notice, I kind of swap these around a bit. It's not a big deal. Height is 2, width is 5, length is 3. So 2 by 5 is 10, 10 by 3 is 30. So 30 centimeters cubed. And remember here, I am always showing my units, am I not? And you know what? I made a mistake in that earlier question. I gave this a volume of 8 centimeters squared. It should be cubed. Apologies for that. Similarly here, girls, there were some worries after this morning. I forgot to put in which questions I expected you to do in the assignment on Microsoft Teams. If you ever can't remember it, It will always be in the video. The video will go up at 8 a.m. every morning, regardless. If it hasn't, something has gone wrong. Don't worry about it. I will get back to you on that. And I am writing in the wrong homework there. So page 213, I want you girls to do questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Okay? And I'm going to say, 8 is definitely a tough one. You should definitely be showing your work for that one. Let's have a quick look at 7 again for myself, just to make sure. Do I want you girls giving me clear rough work? Obviously, there is never a bad time to do rough work. But, 7 as well, I'm going to say also. I want to see at least some rough work. Either way, I've been really happy with the work you girls have been putting out there. Have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to marking your answers.